All right, video with Jeff Wolfe, coach of the Allegheny Mountaineers girls basketball team. 3, 2, 1. Good evening and welcome back here to the coach's weekly wrap-up show for high school basketball. I'm Big Al, sitting in for Jason Hemmentaler. We're here in studio today with Jeff Wolfe. He is the coach of the Lady Mountaineers. And Jeff, you guys had a busy last week of basketball.
Yeah, we did, Al. Friday and Saturday we participated in the Austin Coyd Memorial Tournament down in Blacksburg. Faced Liberty on Friday night and fell short against them, and then came back on Saturday and were able to beat Giles.
Wow, well, good deal. Give us some stats of those games that we played over the weekend, of course, at the Memorial Tournament that you had.
Well, at Liberty, our biggest problem was finding the basket. We only shot, what I got here, 18% from the field, and that was coming off a game against Covington where we shot considerably better. I think we were 31% in that game. We didn't really 15 turnovers. That's not too bad, but the bottom line is we just couldn't make a shot.
Were the girls tired from the game with Covington, or does that relate to the trip to Liberty, or what does it relate to?
Well, I think some of it may have been the trip. That was a long bus ride for us, but Liberty had a long bus ride too. And then we've struggled in a game since then too. So I think maybe we're just having trouble finding our stroke, and mentally maybe we weren't ready. We came in knowing who we needed to look out for against Liberty. They had got a point guard that shoots it pretty well, and we managed to lose her, I think, 4 times in the first half. She hit 4 threes, 2 of them were in transition, and we knew we needed to find her, and we didn't.
It's tough to combat that type of game, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Wow. Well, I'll tell you what, you guys then moved on to, I guess it was Tuesday night, December 13th, where you guys were away against Northside. Tell us a little bit about that game back in your district. How did that go for you?
It didn't go as well as we'd have liked. We came out and all signs were good to start with. We battled with them at the end of the first quarter. It was 12-10. I think we felt pretty good about that. But we knew they had 2 shooters. We knew they had 2 good post players. I think we did a good job on the perimeter shooters, closed out on them. But at the same time, it was hard to extend the defense and guard them. We weren't able to double down in the post on those 2 Houston sisters. And they started doing their damage, and then actually one of them stepped out and she hit a 3. So,
wow. So
it was a little bit of pick your poison, and I think both of those girls finished with 20 points.
Wow.
And that's probably, and again, we couldn't find the basket. We shot 12% that game.
Final score on that game was?
59-24.
Wow.
We could have kept it a little closer, but at that time it was time to get playing time for everybody and work on some things that needed to be worked on.
Working on some fundamentals.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about some of the girls that are key on your team this year as we're in the middle of these games this week. Who's some of your key players?
I would say obviously the 3 seniors, Elena Fridley, Kaylee Sminger, Allison Fox. We definitely depend on them on the court, and I need them to step up as leaders off the floor too. I think everybody's going to follow their lead.
Wow. How about any juniors?
We have one junior, Haley Hansford. She the last couple games has been strong handling the basketball. Last night at James River, she actually got her to shoot. We've been encouraging her too, and then she knocked down some shots last night. Let's
talk about that James River game. Last night you guys on the road again to James River, down there by the James River. How did things go last night?
We started out kind of sluggish. We knew James River's rebuilding. They've got a good coach down there, and he's got participation levels up. But it's going to take some time for him to get done what he needs done. So we knew they were down a little bit. Maybe that affected us. We came out sluggish. Then midway through the first half, we decided to go with a small lineup, and then we hit the shots we needed to hit. First half, we had 5 different girls hit 9 3-pointers, and that kind of opened the game up.
Wow, that brought you up into the 45-50 range there real quick.
Yeah, matter of fact, we shot for the game 60% from 3 points.
Wow.
9 out of 15. we led 42-13 at halftime, and from there again we worked on some other things and got some other people some playing time.
In the final half of the game, how did you do?
It's hard to maintain that kind of intensity. Plus, you're not really gonna, with that kind of lead, there's going to be some letdown. Offensively, we probably missed some easy shots we should have made. But defensively, I think we kept things going. They only scored 2 points the second half.
So your younger team got a little chance to play.
They did.
And you're going to be on a big rebuild next year too, the way it sounds.
Yeah. Hopefully the sophomores will be ready to step up next year. That's what we try to get that experience in for them for, and then of course the ones coming up from JV, and Maggie Rooklyn as a freshman. She'll be leaned upon a lot next year.
Wow. Well, we'll get to meet some of these girls later on in the show throughout this season. So we'll get you to maybe bring a couple with you and let us talk to them on the show. How's that?
Okay.
Jeff Wolfe is the head coach of the Lady Mountaineers, of course, interim head coach right now. Of course, we talked about the departure of Danny Keene last week and his untimely death, and of course we know that's been key on the players this year as well. They miss that coach.
I would agree, and I'd like to add the places we've been have been very thoughtful. At Blacksburg on Saturday, the Blacksburg team came into the locker room prior to our game with Giles and presented flowers to everyone in memory of Coach Keene, and one of their players stepped up as a leader and offered some inspirational words. They asked the girls if it would be all right to do that, and of course we accepted. And then when we went to Northside, they observed a moment of silence along those same lines. And then last night at James River, same thing. They gave a nice tribute, the announcer did, and gave the girls flowers again. So everybody's been really, really great about trying to comfort the girls and recognize the loss they went through.
Coach Keene touched a lot of people, not just at Alleghany, but all throughout the high school area with basketball and girls basketball.
That is true. Even the officials, they come and offer their memories and stories and things of that nature.
That's really great. And I'll tell you what, the final score there at James River last night was
57-15.
So good win last night for the Lady Mountaineers. Long road trip this past week, and it doesn't get any better, except you guys will be coming back towards home, it looks like, after you guys play in the Alcova Mortgage Holiday Tournament. That's coming up this weekend. I guess that's at Covington. And that is going to be Friday night starting at 6 o'clock with the tournament start. And Saturday, again, you guys will play at 2 o'clock. Then we move from there back to Allegany's Mountaineer Basketball Court, to the gym. Of course, we're going to be taking on Tuesday night, Lord Botetourt, 7 o'clock game time. Wednesday night, the 21st, Lord Botetourt will come to the house at 7 o'clock. And then a little break for the holidays. But we get right back into basketball just a couple days after Christmas with a makeup game with Buffalo Gap, and that's on the 27th. What time does that game start, Jeff?
I believe it starts at 7. That was a makeup game from one that had to be canceled earlier. But I think that game will... No, that's not true. They're out of school. I think that's scheduled for a JV tip time of maybe 1:30.
1:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's definitely an afternoon tip.
We'll keep you up to date with the actual time and start and all that on the next week's show. How's that?
Okay.
We'll give you a chance there to check that one out. But just a little bit of talk about the upcoming Alcova Mortgage Tournament. You guys ready?
I hope so. We're going to try to get some shooting in today, see if we can, continue some of the shooting we had last night. We're not familiar with Independence. I've read some scores on them. And we'll just have to adjust on the fly in that game.
And then, of course, it's always nice to play back home.
Right.
In front of the home crowd, get a little cheering going on. And, you got a long ways to go till February with basketball, that's for sure.
That is true.
Well, Jeff, thank you for your time this evening, and look forward to having you back here once more next Thursday night, the 22nd, right before Christmas. Merry Christmas to the Lady Mountaineers, and again, thanks for your time here on the show.
Thank you.
Coach Jeff Wolfe, head coach Jeff Wolfe here from the Lady Mountaineers on the... Coach Jeff Wolfe with the Lady Mountaineers here live on the Coach's weekly wrap-up show. I can't talk. Jeff Wolfe here, head coach with the Lady Mountaineers on the Coach's Weekly Wrap-Up Show for basketball. And we'll be back here after we take a little time out here on the show with our host, Jason Hemmentaler.